12 on it to keep it close. And the strikeout is the 5th of the night for John Smoltz. Pitching well, gave up a first inning 2-run home run to Ken Caminiti, and after 4 it's still standing for a 1-run lead. On 4 hits. Braves lost Andrew Jones on the squeeze attempt. Stranded 2 last inning and have left 6 men on base already. Lockhart, Jones, and Galarraga will bat. Strike 2 from Andy Ashby. Nothing into the count. Lockhart with a ground ball to Gomez. 1 away. We've already had a listen at Bobby Dews and what he said to Andrew Jones before the squeeze. Let's take you back to some of the sounds of the game throughout LCS play. Michael Tucker with his catch in game 1 on a ball hit by Vaughn. Bobby Dews waving home Chipper Jones in game 4. And then the best, which is the reason why we play that, as Ashby missed down and in with ball 1 to Chipper Jones. Leo Mazzoni on the phone to the bullpen just before a double play was calling down to get somebody ready, and they said never mind after the double play was completed.
Classic.
1 out, nobody on. 2 balls, no strikes on Chipper Jones with Galarraga to follow.
Cancel that order.
Jones rockets one to first. The backhanded grab by Joyner. 2 gone.
Wally Joyner's been doing this to a lot of hitters in baseball in his career. Soft hands. Plays that short hop in a position to smother the ball and takes the out himself at first. That ball was hit right on the button by Chipper Jones.
And now with 2 out, Galarraga takes a ball. We've already seen 3 important defensive plays by the San Diego Padres. They have yet to commit an error in this NLCS, and they're backing up this pitching with good defense. A play by Gomez in the first. The line drive off the bat of Galarraga, caught by Vanderwall. Now Galarraga sends one to deep center. Back is Finley. The Braves go in order. The play by Joyner mixed in the top of the 5th inning, and Andy Ashby has allowed 1 run on 7 Atlanta hits through 5. Run against John Smoltz. In 73 at bats, including the postseason. That's what he did in the first inning. And the first pitch, Michael Tucker, an RBI single in the 4th inning. And the Braves, an attempted suicide squeeze play that did not work. Gomez has fouled 2 away. Quickly the count 0-2. Gomez, Ashby, and Barris for the Padres, who lead 3 games to 1 and lead this game 2-1. Joe Buck, Bob Brenly, and Tim McCarver with you. We're glad you're with us. A look at Jim Leyritz. Leyritz still with the tribute to Darryl Strawberry on his cap. And now with an 0-2 count on Gomez, Smoltz puts him away. Let's take you down to Steve Lyons near the field. Steve.
All right, Joe, thank you very much. In between the innings, after the collision at home plate between Andy Ashby and Andrew Jones, Dave Stewart got in Ashby's face and said, look, no time to be a hero here. Are you okay? Because I need you to go back out there if you are. If you're not, you're going to sit down right here. And you saw what happened. Ashby went back out.
All right, Steve, thank you, because there was a mild collision or a minor collision at the plate. Looked like he got his arm caught up in between Andrew Jones and his body when he made the tag.
Looked like it was his glove hand, which obviously would not affect his pitching arm.
Good look at the end of the play here. Caminiti running Jones toward home plate. He gets that left arm inside there. That's bent the wrist back a little bit on the glove hand, as you mentioned, Tim. I don't really worry too much about that, as long as he's able to get the glove on and catch a ball.
But the other portion of it is the lower body of Ashby, and he struggled with tendonitis in the hip and buttocks area.
Yeah. Yep.
And that was involved in the collision as well. Ashby at the plate. He is not there for long as Smoltz strikes out his 7th. 3rd in a row. With 2 out, nobody on. Back to the top of the San Diego lineup. Here's Veras, who's 0 for 2 tonight. 3 out of 17 in this NLCS.
And I'll guarantee you somewhere, someplace, in some paper tomorrow morning, it'll say John Smoltz did well, but he made one mistake, and that was to Ken Caminetti. That was not a mistake.
1 ball, 1 strike.
There's a lot of confusion, even baseball players and a lot of pitchers from a catcher standpoint. You have to convince them sometimes that every pitch a guy hits hard is not a mistake. And there are a lot of mistakes that are fouled back. A ton of them.
2-1 on Veras.
Sometimes you have to tip your hat to the hitter, and this is one of those times.
Fastball down low and away, not a bad location. But Caminetti goes with the pitch, as you mentioned, Tim, apparently looking out over the plate to go that way.
Count goes to 3-1 on Veras. Smoltz has been outstanding. At one point retired 9 in a row, then gave up what was ruled an infield hit. Since then has retired 3 straight, all on strikeouts. Veras loops a base hit into left field to keep this 5th inning alive. His 4th hit of this series.
And there again, you have to tip your hat to the hitter, because that's exactly what John Smoltz wanted to do. Pitch looked like a splitter, perhaps a fastball, but off the plate away. Veras going that way.
That's a great shot there. You can see Steve Finley in the background in his batting stance trying to time the pitch. Almost looked like a mirror image of Kilvio Veras at the plate.
It didn't time too well for that high fastball as he comes up empty. Strike 1. Finley 6 out of 16 in this series after having a below average year during the regular season. He is a free agent to be at the end of this baseball season. During the year, hit only .249 with 14 home runs.
It's a good time for Bruce Bochy to turn Veras loose sometime during this at bat too.
Smoltz wondering where that pitch was. It missed 1-1 in the outfield hits by direction for Finley.
Overloaded to right field, pretty much a dead pull hitter throughout the regular season. However, in the LCS, we've seen Steve Finley go to the opposite field a lot more, especially the other night against Greg Maddux.
Up the middle, Smoltz stabs it. And the inning is over. A 2-out hit by Veras. Finley grounds out. We're through 5. In game 5, San Diego up 2-1. Looking on from the Atlanta dugout as Andy Ashby heads back to work. Klesko, Lopez, and Andrew Jones for Atlanta here in the 6th inning. The Braves down 2-1, 3 games to 1. The reaction of John Smoltz trying to pump up his teammates after that last half inning. Looking for some offense as the Braves have been. Great play by Joyner. That's the 4th outstanding defensive play of the night for the Padres.
Very important for an infielder to read the hop. This hop was unreadable, almost like a Russian novel. Good play by Joyner. The in-between hop gets Klesko.
An infield defense is more likely to make good plays with a pitcher like Ashby on the mound. You know he's going to throw ground balls. You're always on your toes, ready to react.
1 out, nobody on, and Lopez takes the ball high. It's not a reference to Crime and Punishment, is it?
No, it's not.
Lopez at the plate. Reaching for it. Gomez to his left. They call him Steady Eddie. 2 gone.
War and peace, perhaps.
Okay. Hey, watch for the Gillette Mach 3 Strike Zone Challenge prior to Game 4 of the 1998 World Series. You will see one lucky fan get the chance to throw a pitch for $2 million. And a World Series can be found here on Fox. Andrew Jones has walked, singled, and been out on the squeeze attempt with Smoltz at the plate. Line drive base hit into center. Andrew Jones on base for the 3rd time tonight. And Bob, he didn't wait around very long.
Jumped on that first pitch, hooked it back up the middle of the field. That pitch looked like it was on the outer half of the plate, maybe even the outside corner. Jones takes it right back to the box, and once again, good running situation for the Braves. Their best base stealer on first base. And he has bluffed several times throughout this series, but you have to see him turn it loose.
Yeah, there have been a number of running situations. Kilvio Veras, the bottom half of the 5th inning, and Andrew Jones several times even yesterday. And I think both teams very cautious as far as their base stealing is concerned. Base running has been aggressive, not base stealing.
There goes Jones. Hernandez cannot make a throw, and the tying run is in scoring position with 2 out as Andrew Jones steals his first base of the NLCS.
Well, the reason this is such a good situation, as I mentioned earlier, you have the number 8 hitter at the plate. Even if Jones is thrown out, you've got the 8 hitter leading off the next inning with the pitcher following him. Hernandez, in his effort to rush that throw to second base, just lost the handle.
Padres have to be awful tempted here to walk Tucker, but they pitch to him with an 0-1 count. And Tucker lines a base hit into center. They pitch to him and pay the price. In to score is Andrew Jones, and it's a 2-2 game. With Smoltz on deck and 2 out, they throw a pitch hittable to Michael Tucker, and he ties it. A 2-2 score in the 6th.
And the reason that that's such an important point, Smoltz had to hit. There's nobody warming up in the Atlanta Braves bullpen. So with 2 outs, that is poor strategy on Bruce Bochy's part. Don't know any other way to say it.
So the Atlanta Braves get just what they need. A 2-out single by Jones, the stolen base, the RBI hit by Michael Tucker, who has driven in both runs of this Game 5 for Atlanta, and Smoltz with new life swings and misses.
It's not a bad play to send Tucker right here, because if he's thrown out, John Smoltz could pitch the bottom of the 6th and you pinch hit for him in the top of the 7th inning. This is not a normal situation with 2 out and the pitcher up.
Strike 2 on Smoltz. Bruce Bochy's reaction to the hit by Michael Tucker, which tied this game.
Well, it's always tempting to go after Tucker because he's so much of a free swinger. He struck out 112 times in 414 at-bats during the regular season.
Andy Ashby strikes out John Smoltz. And there will be some questions fired and some answers on that dugout for San Diego when the Padres get there.
This is a look at the Atlanta bullpen, and that's the look that Bruce Bochy had with Michael Tucker up there. Nobody was warming up, so John Smoltz had to hit in that inning.
Michael Tucker did hit and come through with the game-tying RBI as Gwynn swings and misses at strike 1. Gwynn is 0 for 2. In the postseason, now hitting only .212 for San Diego. Gwynn, Caminiti, and Joyner. 1 ball, 1 strike from Smoltz.
I think in fairness, it must be said, too, that Major League managers really try to get pitchers and catchers to work on their own and to pitch around batters. The onus cannot be thrown only on the manager, but he can take the monkey off their backs.
Here's a fly ball into left center. Andrew Jones is there, and Gwynn is 0 for 3.
By walking the batter. That's how the manager can alleviate all the second guessing and all the problems as you just put him on. All that stuff about not putting the go-ahead run on in the middle of the late innings, not with the pitcher coming up. You throw the book right out the window.
Caminiti now. Ball one. Bob, I thought the reaction shot of Bochy kind of led along with what Tim was saying. I think he thought his pitcher and catcher were wise enough to the situation and was surprised that they gave Tucker something to hit.
And Tucker's a good low ball hitter. Ashby went after him with a low sinker. Granted, the ball was on the outer half of the plate, but to a low ball hitter, that's a mistake.
That's right.
You may say, boy, that was a good pitch. It was down around the knees on the outside corner, but for a low ball hitter, that's where they like it. That is not a good pitch.
The 2-0 pitch to Caminiti. Trying to unload and coming up empty. 2-1. Caminiti hit a 2-run homer in the first inning. That's all the scoring for San Diego. And John Smoltz really has been in complete control since the first. To the shortstop, Guillen. Caminiti retired, now 1 out of 3. Don't forget that the ALCS continues on NBC tomorrow night as the series will shift back to New York Yankee Stadium. The Indians take on the Yankees game 6. Coverage begins Tuesday at 8 Eastern. And if the Braves can win here tonight, there would be a game 6, and he will find it here on Fox 4 p.m. Eastern. That'll be on Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific on Fox Thursday. Game 6 of this NLCS as Mark Langston cranks it up for San Diego in their bullpen. Oh, 0-2 in a hurry on Wally Joyner.
Every time a foul ball is hit around home plate, it kicks up a cloud of chalk dust. I don't know that I've ever seen quite as much chalk around the home plate area in a game in my life. Look at that. Pow.
It's like Tammy Faye's makeup down there. It is heavy. Look at all that. Two out, nobody on, a ball and 2 strikes. Joyner. 2-2. Joyner has a hit tonight. Andy Ashby, I am sure, still thinking about pitching to Tucker. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Joyner. Jim Leyrich went deep here last night. His 7th postseason home run and 43 at bats. That just missed. Full count on Joyner. Vanderwall next. To the left side for Chipper Jones. The bare hand. Why'd you do that, Chipper? With Wally Joyner running, I'm not sure he had to try that. And Joyner is on to keep this 6th inning alive for San Diego, and they rule it a base hit.
It would have been close even with Joyner running, but I think the chances are much, much better to go with the glove hand and transfer instead of trying to barehand it.
That compounded with the fact that he gets himself an in-between hop to try to barehand. Smoltz initially very upset, tries to regroup. One thing a pitcher never wants to do is show up any of your fielders behind you.
I think John's just pulling for Chipper right there. At least that's the reaction I read. Sometimes you can just get so caught up in the game that it can be viewed by a player that you're showing him up, but you're not trying that at all.
Now Vanderwall after the 2-out infield single by Wally Joyner. The numbers for Smoltz since that 2-run first inning. 2 of those 3 hits have been infield hits. Strike 1 on Vanderwall. 95 miles per hour from Smoltz. There's a reason why the Atlanta Braves are 4-1 in the 5 starts that John Smoltz has made in a deciding game or an elimination game for the Atlanta Braves. And he's been on the mound in postseason. And again, the only loss, Game 7 of the '91 World Series to Minnesota.
And John gave up no runs in that game.
1 on, 2 out. Vanderwall takes a strike, and it's 0-2.
I think Andres Galarraga should be behind Joyner right now. We mentioned that he is not a fast runner. And if Vanderwall scoots one down the right field line, it could go all the way to the wall. With 2 outs, you may see a scoring attempt. Too big a hole on the right side.
Vanderwall into left field. Well hit. Plesko back. Down. 4-2 San Diego. Hernandez, a short fly down the right field line. That's a hit. Galarraga will watch Hernandez try to get to second, tagged out to end the inning, and nobody in this stadium could care less. John Vanderwall, the unlikely hero with his first career postseason home run. Back after this from your local Fox station. Usually every postseason you come up with one unlikely hero. Right now for San Diego, it's got to be John Vanderwall with his throw to the plate in Game 3 here in San Diego to cut down Walt Weiss. First time he'd thrown a man out at the plate since 1992. And he's come up with big hits in the division series against Houston, but no swing, guys, bigger than that against John Smoltz in the bottom of the 6th inning, as he is now gone and Ruben Rivera takes over in left. Langston is now pitching and batting in Vanderwall's spot. Rivera will bat ninth.
Bruce Bochy is prepared to go either way in this inning. There is Kevin Brown loosening up. Boy, is that odd. I wonder if he would go to Kevin Brown if Bobby Cox makes a move to a right-handed pitcher. Talk about shocking. Even though Brown did tell me before the game tonight that he threw last night after the game and he intended on throwing again tonight. So that could be just throwing between starts since he is scheduled to pitch on Wednesday if Atlanta wins tonight.
That's a heck of a bluff, though.
It sure is. He's going after it hard.
1 ball, 1 strike on Guillen as he takes on the left-hander Langston. Langston, if nothing else happened last night for the Padres losing 8-3, they got Langston 1 inning. In his 15-year major league career, his first postseason pitches. A ground ball deep short. Guillen will beat it, and Ozzie Guillen has 3 hits tonight. 3 out of 4, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate here in the 7th inning.
This is Tony Gwynn's 5.5 hole right here. Just past the third baseman, force that shortstop to backhand the ball deep in the hole. Gomez can't get anything on the throw, and he ain't able to beat it out easily.
I think Greg Colbran is going to be announced, and I think Kevin Brown could very possibly be in the game. Think about the logic. If he pitches 3 innings here tonight max, and the Braves do come back and beat him, he'll have tomorrow and then Wednesday and then start on Thursday if necessary. Brown's in the game. I can't. This is shocking.
This place is going to come down when he comes out of the bullpen.
The these genes have been constructed out of.
Kevin Brown is the third pitcher of the night for the San Diego Padres. They lead 4-2 in the 7th inning. They lead 3-1 in this NLCS, and Colbran takes a fastball up for ball 1. 97 miles per hour from Kevin Brown. Colbran hitting for Lockhart.
Bob, you said in the opening that Kevin Brown was lurking. You didn't realize he was lurking this close. I sure didn't.
Well, we anticipated Game 6, but here he is.
1 on, nobody out. Colbran, strike 1.
You talk about a move that makes sense.
The third relief appearance in the career of Kevin Brown in the big leagues. One ball, one strike. Strike 2. Like reading the end of a Patricia Cornwell novel. You think, why didn't I think of that before? This makes all the sense in the world.
Absolutely. If he does it tonight, he starts against the Yankees or Cleveland on Saturday. If he doesn't do it tonight, he starts for the Padres in Game 7 on Thursday.
Colbran had better crank it up another notch. He has been late on every swing, and he's set up here at 1-2. A defensive swing from Colbran now. Again, the 1-2. Conceivably 3 innings left for the Atlanta Braves, and they could face one of the game's most dominating starters and the game's most dominating closer, with Trevor Hoffman down in that Padre bullpen. Colbran just snapped his bat as he missed it for strike 3 and out number 1.
That bat probably had a hairline fracture from that foul ball that Colbran hit. Right there. Did not make contact, and the bat came unglued. Had to have a hairline fracture.
Strike 1 to Chipper Jones. Kevin Brown made a relief appearance this season on July 4th and struck out the side against Colorado. Strike 2.
I'll tell you, he warmed up like a reliever too. He got up, he started cranking in a hurry, and the next thing he knew, he was into the ballgame. Generally, a starter that's called upon to pitch out of the bullpen takes a long time to get loose, like they do before a start.
Chipper Jones thinking about that moving fastball that Brown struck him out on the other night in Atlanta.
That's foul. Jones had a pretty good swing at that pitch.
I think Chipper was looking inside then. Sometimes you don't look one pitch or another. You look an area. Remember, Chipper Jones told us that. Look inside or outside against Kevin Brown.
Two balls, two strikes. A heck of a matchup here with Chipper Jones, and a good one next with Galarraga. Tying run at the plate here in the 7th inning of Game 5, with the Braves trailing 3-1. Down the line, try and get out of play, and it will. Still 2-2. Safe to say, with Kevin Brown's appearance out of the bullpen, the Padres want no part of going back to Atlanta. They have a 2-run 7th-inning lead here tonight in Game 5, and they want it to end tonight. Jones stepped up. Full count. And with 1 out, we'll see if the Braves start Guillen at first.
Even though they trail by 2, I think that's the right thing to do right now.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Tim.
Going as Jones pops it into shallow left. Rivera. 2 out in the 7th.
You always run the risk of a strike him out, throw him out double play, but against Kevin Brown, the ground ball double play is more likely. You want to have an opportunity to get the big cat to the plate with a runner on base, a possibility to tie the game with 1 swing of the bat.
Wouldn't chase the slider for ball 1. John Smoltz with his glove already on his left hand. Seated in the Atlanta dugout as Galarraga takes ball 2. You always give a pitching advantage, at least in the 90s, to the Atlanta Braves, but right now with Brown on the mound and Hoffman in that bullpen, a 2-run Padre lead, they have the advantage as Galarraga takes strike 1. Three balls and a strike with Klesko on deck. Inside corner, full count. Do it again. Guillen running with this 3-2 pitch. Kilby Overis. The fans here got a head start on the 7th-inning stretch. Smoltz back to the hill. Bottom of the 7th inning, and Gomez takes a strike. One of the subplots running through this postseason and really this season for San Diego, as Gomez leads it off with Rivera and Veras to follow. Gomez rockets a base hit through the left side. Only his 3rd hit of this series. The subplot, Bob, is the future of baseball, not necessarily in this city, but in this ballpark. As Proposition C on November 3rd ballot which will ask for funding for a $411 million downtown stadium. And the Padre personnel would like November 3rd to be tomorrow and Kevin Brown to stand at the ballot box. Rivera takes a pitch up, but the age-old debate rages on if public money should be used to finance a stadium. That's what the folks here are faced with. And you try to get a gauge on the future of Proposition C. You really don't get a good feeling one way or the other. Everybody around here says, oh, sure, it'll pass, but we know better than that as Rivera pops it foul, trying to bunt. Galarraga, great effort. Strike one, 1-1.
Well, you know, the people here at the ballpark tonight are all in favor of Prop C, but it remains to be seen on November 3rd. Rivera with an attempted sacrifice bunt here, forced out of the batter's box by that fastball, and Galarraga with a great effort. Rivera has put down one sacrifice before this season, but a situation he's not totally comfortable with, if the first two attempts are any indication.
The interesting thing is, Tim, that the Atlanta Braves faced the Florida Marlins last year in the NLCS. And were kicked out of the postseason by the Florida Marlins. The Florida Marlins are kind of going through the same thing with the stadium issue very much up in the air in Florida, as well as ownership of the Florida Marlins, as the 1-1 is fouled back. Wayne Huizinga is trying to sell. John Henry is the proposed buyer. And we know what happened to the Florida Marlins after winning the World Championship last year, gutting the payroll. Enough to make any baseball fan cringe with what happened with the Marlins as Rivera takes it low and away. And the first base umpire, Steve Ripley, rings up Rivera, much to his disgust.
I don't think it will be as drastic here in San Diego if Proposition C does not go through, as it looks like Ruben Rivera went through. I think the public has to decide whether enough private funds are going to be contributed in the mix. I guess that's what the people who give the private funds have to determine also.
I understand the tax money raised will be from hotel taxes. It would be a downtown stadium, which so many are in favor of here in San Diego. The baseball fans with that Gaslamp Square district down there, and the baseball stadium would be right there. And if these Padres get to the World Series, it would be an enormous boost for the efforts on the part of the San Diego Padres. And here's a look at the design of that proposed stadium. $411 million downtown near the water.
And if you think that it may have the comfortable feel of Camden Yards, well, you're right, because Larry Lucchino, the president and CEO, was the gentleman who helped put that Camden Yards project together for Peter Angelos and the limited partners.
Tim, I agree with you, though. I don't think it'll be as drastic if it doesn't happen here in San Diego, because the people here,
not with these folks,
including John Moores, too big a baseball people for that to happen. Ground ball to the right side. Galarraga flips. It gets past Smoltz. Gomez will head to third, and it's first and third, one out.
Boy, a very tough play for Andres Galarraga. Fields the ball with the glove, tries to lead John Smoltz, but throws it behind him. Smoltz tries to turn around and make the catch and find the bag at the same time. Almost an impossible play to complete. Barris is given credit for an infield single.
But it's got to be an error also on Chris Gomez going from second to third.
It is,
yeah.
And it is charged to Andres Galarraga. An LCS record. 4 errors in this 1998 NLCS, and Galarraga does get the error on the heels of the hit.
Of course, it's different down on the field, but it did look like that Andres had time to get it to his bare hand and lead John a little bit more. Down there, it's a lot different.
Finley now takes the ball low. So even with John Rocker loosening in the Atlanta bullpen, Bobby Cox sticks with John Smoltz here to take on the left-handed Steve Finley. Rocker is obviously ready. He's been warming for a while. But Bobby Cox will stick with the experience of John Smoltz. First and third, one out. 1 ball, 1 strike on Finley. You saw the graphic briefly. 7 errors in this NLCS for the Atlanta Braves. And Galarraga, the first baseman, has 4 of them. Smoltz has 1 of them. Lopez and Klesko the other 2.
I think John Smoltz is smelling a squeeze right here. The Padres have a 2-run cushion. If a squeeze doesn't work, Finley still has a chance to drive in a run. Because Veras would be at second base.
The 1-1. Off the plate to the first baseman. Galarraga throw home. Out at the plate is Gomez, even though Lopez dropped it after Gomez was tagged for the out. 2 away.
No argument from Bruce Bochy. Good play by Galarraga. A throw on the run to Lopez, and he made the tag. Yeah, that's a good call right there. He certainly had it long enough.
Well, the tag had been completed. You can clearly see Javi Lopez reaching the bare hand into the glove. Lost the ball at that point.
Bobby Cox at least out to talk to John Smoltz. With Gwynn coming up, the fielder's choice 3-2 on the ball hit by Finley. It's 2 on 2 out. And Bobby Cox is going to make the change. John Smoltz gave the Braves, the Atlanta fans, everything he could here tonight. Has nothing to be ashamed of as he walks off. But the facts, bottom of the 7th inning, Padres up 3-1, leading Atlanta 4-2. For John Smoltz, who leaves here in the 7th inning, he allowed 2 2-run homers. 1 to Caminiti in the first, and 1 with 2 out to John Vanderwall in the 6th. Still responsible for 2 men on, 2 out, and here's John Rocker to work to Tony Gwynn with the Padres leading 4-2. If anybody worried about the inexperience of John Rocker coming into the postseason, part of that young bullpen, they shouldn't have worried. This is his 7th game and unscored upon. Two 2-0 on Gwynn. Padres got 2 runs in the first inning. Atlanta got runs in the 4th and 6th inning to tie it. Bottom of the 6th inning, John Vanderwall, a 2-out, 2-run home run. And it's a 4-2 San Diego lead, and they have Kevin Brown in the game. Right now it's Rocker to Gwynn. 1 hopper to short. The throw across by Guillen to end the inning. We go to the 8th inning. Kevin Brown back last inning. Faced 3, retired all 3. Here's how he did it. Colburn struck out. Jones popped up. Galarraga popped up. And now Klesko, Lopez, and Andrew Jones against Kevin Brown. 8th inning and strike 1.
Splitter on the first pitch. That's not fair.
Another broken bat. And that'll get back and out of play for strike 2.
Well, if you're the Atlanta Braves, you probably never thought you'd think this, but they're probably looking forward to getting Trevor Hoffman into the ball game. He gets jammed so badly on a check swing, the bat snaps in half.
Hey, you have to wonder right now whether Trevor Hoffman will be the pitcher tonight. The way Kevin Brown's throwing.
I agree. Be tough to take him out. Which Bruce Bochy did in Houston in game 1 of the division series.
course, he had worked 8 innings then, and you can more understand it. But right now, he's just getting loosened up.
One and two on Klesko leading off the 8th. 2-2. Kevin Brown, since entering last inning, has thrown 25 pitches, and people who know him say he's got one of the most resilient arms in the game today as Klesko fouls another out of play.
It seems like the more he throws, the more his pitches move. A lot of sinker ball pitchers are that way. Their arm is a little bit tired. They tend to get better movement on their pitches.
Kevin Brown with the ideal baseball muscles, the long muscles that supply supple strength.
Kevin Brown ever wanted to be a closer, which he evidently did not in his days with Baltimore. Anybody who's getting a good look at Brown here coming out of the bullpen and what he's doing to one of the best hitting teams in baseball, even though the Braves haven't hit much in this postseason. Getting a good idea of what he could do out of the pen. The 3-2 pitch. Klesko just got a piece of it to stay alive.
Rushing that fastball up there, 96, 97, 98 miles an hour. Klesko, a very good fastball hitter, can't get around on it.
Klesko got around on that pitch. 95 miles per hour and fouled away to keep it 3-2. Brown had a full count on Chipper Jones, got him to pop up. Full count on Galarraga, got him to pop up. And he's full on Klesko, leading off the 8th. A leadoff walk, and the Braves have a life here in the 8th inning.
Against Kevin Brown in game 2, the Braves did have runners on at first and second and nobody out. That was in the 2nd inning when Galarraga walked, Klesko walked. But Brown, as he is very capable of doing, got the big double play ball. This is a key moment in this game right here with Lopez up.
The tying run at the plate here in the top of the 8th inning. To the left side, diving stop. Gomez safe at second, and the first 2 are on for Atlanta in the 8th. An infield hit by Javi Lopez. Good effort by Gomez, but Klesko got to second in time.
Nice stop by Chris Gomez. As Bobby Cox told us in Atlanta, as we saw in Atlanta, Ryan Klesko is a lot faster than you realize. That ball was hit right on the button, got to Gomez in a hurry, but Klesko hustling all the way and calls his own.
So Klesko, the lead runner, looks a little banged up as he takes his lead out at second base. Marty Malloy comes off the bench to run. He's the tying run at first, running for Lopez. And with the tying runs on, here is Andrew Jones. And there's ball 1 from Kevin Brown.
I think Andrew Jones just saw how Kevin Brown's going to try to get him out. And that's inside with that moving fastball biting in on the hands.
2 on for the Braves, nobody out, and a strike to Andrew Jones. Donnie Wall, the right-hander, getting ready for San Diego out in their bullpen. But right now it's Brown against Andrew Jones. 2 on, nobody out. 4-2 San Diego, 8th inning. Strike 2.
Brown has Jones in that rocking chair right now. Sinker in, slider away, sinker in. Maybe a slider away again right here on the 2-strike count.
Little pop up to the right side for Joyner. 1 out.
Remember, with Army, Blanchard and Davis, inside, outside. Well, that's Kevin Brown with Andrew Jones. The first pitch misses inside. Slider for a strike. Fastball for a strike. Slider, as Bob called it.
So Andrew Jones is retired for the first time tonight. Michael Tucker walks in. Tucker has the only 2 RBIs on the night for Atlanta.
That rocking chair is an interesting theory, and you get a guy going back with the inside sinker and going forward with that slider. That is a very uncomfortable feeling for guys who want to be comfortable in the batter's box.
Well, so much of hitting is balance, and if you're constantly back on your heels, up on your toes, back on your heels, it's tough to put a good swing on the ball.
2 on, 1 out for Tucker. By the way, with Donnie Wall loosening up in the San Diego bullpen, nothing against Donnie Wall, but if Bruce Bochy decided to lift Brown in favor of Wall, he could get some volunteers from the Atlanta dugout to help carry Wall into the game.
That's why Trevor Hoffman is just up in the Padre bullpen.
2 balls, no strikes on Michael Tucker. Donnie Wall, by the way, has a save in this series. He got it in game 1 in the 10th. 3-0 on Michael Tucker, and it's getting better and better for Atlanta here in the 8th. A leadoff walk, an infield single by Lopez, then Jones fouled out. Now Tucker on 3-0. 3-1.
Dangerous pitch right here. Michael Tucker with 13 home runs on the season. Brown has to throw a strike. His strength is down, and so's Tucker's.
The 3-1 pitch to Michael Tucker. That's a foul ball to run it full again. It's his 4th full count since entering last inning for Kevin Brown.
Got to send the runners here too, don't you? Ground ball pitcher Michael Tucker. You're almost forced to send the runners in this situation, I think.
I also think this is a good situation to run into a strike him out, throw him out. Tucker, as I mentioned, struck out almost a quarter of his at-bats during the regular season. Brown very much a strikeout pitcher when he does not give up the ground ball.
Brown stepped off.
There's no easy answer here for Bobby Cox.
No.
Driven into deep right field. At the track, at the wall, a 3-run home run. Michael Tucker. And the Atlanta Braves take a 5-4 8th inning lead. Michael Tucker with all 5 Atlanta RBIs tonight out of the number 8 spot in Bobby Cox's lineup.
John Rocker is the scheduled hitter. Walt Weiss was on deck. Now Bobby Cox may go to Rocker. Shell-shocked is not the word for San Diego right now.
Well, if we call John Vanderwall an unlikely hero for San Diego, Michael Tucker has trumped that with this.
Low fastball.
And with that swing, Kevin Brown's night is finished. That Atlanta Braves dugout bench, the only group making noise when that ball left this park. Brown is finished. In comes Wall. Pitchers in the major leagues. The Atlanta Braves come up with 3 runs here in the 8th inning to take a 1-run lead, and Donnie Wall takes on John Rocker. This postseason does have a save, and that came in game 1. One out, nobody on, and Rocker, pretty good swing for his first at bat. 2 balls and a strike.
Kevin Brown gave up only 8 home runs in 257 innings pitched during the regular season, but Tim, you called it strength against strength. A low ball pitcher against a low ball hitter. Tucker comes out on top this time.
If this place is shell shock, that was a shell that shocked it. Wow.
Now the 3-1 is low, and Donnie Wall comes out of the San Diego bullpen. And some in this crowd boo for the first time in this series as Rocker draws a 1-out walk. John Schuerholz, the executive vice president and general manager of the Atlanta Braves, had to be relieved when that ball left this park. Here's his reaction as Michael Tucker, his number 8 hitter, is driven in 5 runs tonight. All smiles right now, but there's a long way to go in this one. Top of the 8th inning, 5-4 Atlanta. Trying desperately to get this series back to Georgia. Guillen has 3 hits tonight.
And Bruce Bochy making sure after the home run that he got Kevin Brown out of the game, because if this series goes 7 games, Brown will be the starter Thursday night. And we told you earlier that Greg Maddux could pitch an inning tonight. He may pitch more than 1 inning.
Guillen fouls it away. He's in the hole 0-2.
Might be Brown against Maddux in game 7 if it goes that far.
Amazing.
The 0-2 pitch. Guillen strikes out, 2 gone. With Rocker at first, the batter will be Graffinino. The San Diego Padres in the bottom of this 8th inning will have Caminetti, Joyner, and then the pitcher's spot due.
And if you're thinking along with Bobby Cox, what he'll probably have John Rocker do is pitch to Caminetti, make Bochy make a move with Wally Joyner. If he doesn't, he leaves Rocker in the game. But if he makes the move, then he brings in Greg Maddux. But Bobby was adamant tonight, saying that he wanted to bring in Greg Maddux to start the inning. We'll see how Bobby's going to go. If he's going to do that, he'd never had Rocker hit, though.
0-2 in a hurry on Graffinino with a runner at first, Rocker, and 2 out. Ball and 2 strikes. He had a shot of Jim Leyritz over on that San Diego dugout bench. Leyritz homered here last night. Randy Myers, who did not pitch well last night, getting loose for San Diego. Two balls, 2 strikes. So Donnie Wall came out of the bullpen and walked the pitcher Rocker. Struck out Guillen. And Graffinino drives the gap in left center field. This ball will go to the wall, and Rocker heads to third. They bring him around. A play at the plate coming. Throw by Gomez. Safe. And the Braves take a 6-4 8th inning lead. That ball got away at the plate. And they are going to award Graffinino home plate to make it a 2-run swing and a 3-run Atlanta Brave lead.
And credit John Rocker with that. Knocking Carlos Hernandez head over tea kettle at home plate. John Rocker, who has said that he wants to throw the ball 100 miles an hour before his major league career is over, is running 100 miles an hour here.
Good relay from Finley to Gomez. The throw short, hops Hernandez a little bit at home plate. He was trying to hold his ground and block the plate. But Rocker got there about the same time, and the ball gets away.
Rocker 6'5", 230. About 500 pounds right there.
So the ball at the end of the play evidently left the field of play. And on that, Graffinino was awarded home plate to make it a 7-4 Atlanta 8th inning lead. So you can trace these last 2 runs as Graffinino comes through right back to a walk of the pitcher by Donnie Wall. He came in, walked Rocker, struck out Guillen, and here's Rocker picking him up and laying him down, scoring all the way from first. Now Chipper Jones draws a 2-out walk, and the bullpen has collapsed. Donnie Wall has not fared well. And what was the strength of the San Diego Padres, strength that we talked about coming in, the bullpen has failed them miserably here in the 8th inning of Game 5.
The one reason Bobby Cox was telling us before the game that he took Rocker out of the game yesterday was because John's back has a tendency to stiffen up, and that appeared, man with a bad lower back firing into Carlos Hernandez. That could be one of the problems, and that is not good news for the Braves.
So Atlanta leads 7-4, a 5-run 8th inning. Last night it was a 6-run 7th inning that did in San Diego. Strike 2 on Galarraga. Maddox still lurking down in that Atlanta bullpen. A ground ball to third. Caminiti's throwing cross to get Galarraga to end the inning, but not before major damage. There's the biggest swing. Michael Tucker, the 3-run shot, and Atlanta now carries a 7-4 lead.
Sore throat, nosebleeds, and coughing.
High above the stadium here in San Diego, the Goodyear Blimp Eagle has been providing aerial pictures all night long at the controls pilot Joel Chamberlain. 1998 is the 100th anniversary of Goodyear and the 73rd for its blimp fleet. Camera person, by the way, Javier Estrella. And John Rocker goes back to the hill as Gerald Williams takes over for defensive reasons in left field. Plesko is finished. Eddie Perez is the new catcher. You remember they pinch ran Malloy for Javi Lopez. And it's Rocker back to the hill to deal with Ken Caminiti. By the way, at the end of tonight's game, Bob Tim and I will select the Chevy Truck Player of the game. And that's gone back and forth and back and forth. Kevin Brown absolutely rolling along. Not very many good swings against him, but a leadoff walk started it, as we talked about the other night. Then an infield hit, and then a 3-run home run from Michael Tucker on a 3-2 pitch. Caminiti, Joyner in the pitcher spot due. Caminiti pops it into right center. Andrew Jones is there, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here is our game summary as we play in the bottom of the 8th inning. Ken Caminiti, a 2-run home run way back in the first. Vanderwall in a tie game, a 2-run homer in the 6th inning with 2 out. Michael Tucker, though, the 3-run shot off Kevin Brown. Tucker's driven in 5 runs tonight. And Tony Graffinino, you might trace this game and its result back to the walk to John Rocker handed out by Donnie Wall. And eventually, after Guillen struck out, the 2-out RBI double as they scored it on the part of Graffinino, who was awarded home plate as the throw left the field of play, with Rocker, the pitcher, sliding in safely ahead of the relay from Gomez.
Joe, you're right. Those were 2 huge runs. As a matter of fact, Jim Leyritz was scheduled to pinch hit for Wally Joyner. But Bruce Bochy correctly putting Andy Sheets in front of him, so he'll have somebody on base perhaps.
Andy Sheets fouls it out of play right side. So Joyner is finished for the night, 2 out of 3. The San Diego Padres, while it looked like they might end the 1998 NLCS here tonight, are faced with the prospects of having to go back to Atlanta if they can't rally here. Down to their final 5 outs.
And remember, no team up 3 games to none, and this is the 22nd time in postseason play that this has happened. The opposition has never taken that team into game 6.
Forget coming back and winning it.
Right.
There's never been a game 6. Low to Sheets, a ball and 2 strikes. And this crowd, which was rocking and rolling, is quiet now as Sheets takes a ball high. It's 2-2. Andy Sheets at the plate with 1 out, nobody on. Hard hit, but right at Guillen. He's had a big night. 2 gone. Let's go down to Chip Caray. Chip.
All right, Joe, thank you very much. Before this half inning started, Michael Tucker, who hit that dramatic home run for the Braves, went up to John Rocker, the young left-hander, and said, hey, this is a big spot. Calm down. Rocker's nickname is Marmaduke. This young pup has had a big night tonight. They wanted to make sure he concentrated on the task at hand, and that's mowing down the Padres here in the 8th. Back to you upstairs.
He has faced 3. He has retired 3, and it looks like that'll be it. 1 more inning for John Rocker, and he has been unscored upon in this postseason. Rocker, what a job tonight. Now it's Cianez's turn in the 8th.
2/3 innings, his 5th postseason start, and we will have to wait until Wednesday to ask Bobby Cox. I'm sure somebody will ask him after the game tonight if he would have brought Greg Maddux into the game if the Braves didn't tack on those other 2 runs, Rocker and Graffinino.
That'll be interesting to see. Maddux is still up in the bullpen mound down the right field line. He's loose and ready to go. Rocker and Cianez form one heck of a 2-headed monster. The righty, the lefty, they both throw very hard. They've done a nice job setting up Leitenberg this year as the closer for the Braves. Usually when you see one, you see the other soon after.
Greg Maddux has never had a major league save. Never. But he might get one tonight.
Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, Jim Leyritz will come off the bench and bat for the pitcher spot. That means San Diego will need a new hurler. It looks like Boehringer. This is the spot once held by John Vanderwall, who was 2 out of 3 tonight with a single and what looked like the go-ahead and possible game-winning home run in the 6th inning until Kevin Brown and Donnie Wall collapsed as Leyritz sees one pitch, grounds back to Cianez, and tonight the bullpen for the Atlanta Braves has been better than the bullpen for San Diego, which includes Kevin Brown. After 8, 7-4 Atlanta. Inning of game 5, San Diego leading this series 3-1. We are 1 inning away, if it stays as is, from moving this series back to the Atlanta, Georgia site of Turner Field as Brian Boehringer takes over. 5th pitcher of the night for San Diego, and a fly ball into shallow center. Finley off the bat of Gerald Williams, 1 out. Here's Eddie Perez, first at bat of the night. Brown an inning and a third, 3 runs on just 2 hits, but the big home run hit by Michael Tucker, and then Donnie Wall ends up going 2/3 of an inning, but allowing 2 important Atlanta runs to cross the plate. You can trace him back to a walk of the pitcher, John Rocker, the first man he faced. 2-0 on Eddie Perez. Jim Leyrit stays in the game. He's at first, and the pitcher now, Bullringer, is batting in the number 5 spot. Perez rips a base hit through the left side. And he's on with 1 out here in the top of the 9th inning. Well, if the Braves win here tonight, then Wednesday it's game 6 of the NLCS. The scene will shift back to Atlanta, where the Padres will look to close out the Braves and move on to the World Series. Coverage begins at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on Fox, your home of the 1998 World Series. Here's Andrew Jones.
We talked about it in yesterday's game. I think you're going to see a different Atlanta crowd when and if the Braves return to Turner Field. Number one, I think you're going to find a packed house. So many empty seats for games 1 and 2. And I think they're going to be much more vocal than they were in games 1 and 2.
The message was sent out loud and clear by the fans here in San Diego.
That's right.
And I would agree that they will answer. 1 on, 1 out. Strike 2 on Andrew Jones. He was walked, singled twice, and fouled out. Kerry Lightenberg, by the way, takes over now in the Atlanta bullpen, and from what we understand, it will be Lightenberg in the 9th inning and no Greg Maddux. One ball, 2 strikes.
And Lightenberg will be going after the bottom of the Padres orders. Carlos Hernandez, the scheduled leadoff hitter. Chris Gomez, the shortstop. Ruben Rivera, the left fielder. But keep in mind, Greg Vaughn is on that Padres bench. We have not seen him since the 5th inning of game 1. Should the Padres somehow get a couple runners on base, we may see Greg Vaughn get his first at bat since game 1.
Vaughn with a strained left quadriceps muscle. Watching as Bullringer brings it on 1 and 2 to Jones. Off balance and a little pop up to Caminiti. Foul and 2 out.
Michael Tucker.
Now Michael Tucker, who draws the reaction you would expect. Here comes Bruce Bochy out of the dugout. The Padres and Bruce Bochy have seen enough of Michael Tucker here tonight. An RBI single in the 4th, an RBI single with 2 out in the 6th inning, and a 3-run bomb off Kevin Brown in the 8th. Farewell in last night's game and has an enormous ERA in this postseason. We have a minute. Some thank yous to our Fox crew. Ann Smith, Margaret O'Sullivan, Carol Langley, Kathy Hunt, Derek Manning, Mike Fitzgerald, Brian Rome, Lance Garrett. Tape operators Matt Christian, Norm Larson, Deb Robertson, R.D. Willis, Bill Brown back at command control in Los Angeles. Executive producers David Hill and Ed Gorin. Of course, our thanks to John Filippelli, Bill Webb, Gary Lang, Jim Lynch, Dave Hill. So many people that have taken over one parking lot here in San Diego and will maybe take over the parking lot back in Atlanta if this series goes back to Turner Field. Greg Costa also on that list. A ball low and away to Michael Tucker. What a night for Michael Tucker. 2 singles producing 2 RBIs and a 3-run home run for a 5 RBI night. 1 ball, 1 strike. Eddie Perez at first, and Tucker takes it low. 2 balls and a strike. Danny Batista on deck to bat for Cianez if this inning gets that far. And it may. 3-1 on Tucker. Full count on Tucker, and that means Eddie Perez will get a jump at first. Mayritz will play behind him with the left-handed batter Tucker at the plate. Again for San Diego in the bottom of the 9th inning, Hernandez, Gomez, and Rivera, the scheduled hitter. Runner goes, Tucker strikes out. Retired for just the 2nd time tonight. Last chance for the Padres in Game 5 coming up. In comes Leitenberg. Kerry Leitenberg takes over. Leitenberg, the numbers in the postseason here in 1998. He's been involved in 6 games, a great ERA of 1.29. He did give up the home run to Caminiti in Game 1 in the 10th inning, but as we mentioned here last night, Ray's very pleased with the way he's thrown the ball.
Well, really, the only negative you see in Kerry Leitenberg's numbers right there, the 5 walks, kind of a high total for a guy coming in to close out a ball game. But other than that, he has done everything that the Atlanta Braves expected.
The more you think about it, and we were talking about this a couple of innings ago, that if Kevin Brown coming in, and by the way, in my opinion, that's got to be the move Bruce Bochy had to make. It made all the sense in the world.
I think we all agree about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when you think about it, are you sure that Kevin Brown's going to be the Game 7 starter, or does he start on Wednesday and give Sterling Hitchcock the 4 days between the start? I think that's what Bruce Bochy may have to decide tomorrow. Maybe he's already got it in his mind. Maybe he hadn't thought about it yet. I don't know.
Gerald Williams now in right field as Danny Batista takes over in left, and Sweeney, the pinch hitter, leads off and looks at ball 1. There's Batista, who bats in the 9 spot. The pitcher's batting 8th for Atlanta. But right now it's Sweeney batting for Carlos Hernandez. Two and 0. And as Bob Brenly mentioned earlier, don't forget about the presence of Greg Vaughn on that San Diego bench. 3-0 to Sweeney leading off. Three balls, no strikes on Sweeney. He'll take ball 4. A leadoff walk with Greg Maddux back up in the Atlanta bullpen along with Odalis Perez. There's the bullpen for Atlanta as Greg Myers is announced as a pinch hitter with Vaughn on deck. Visit from Leo Mazzoni.
Well, the walks have been the only blight on Kerry Leitenberg's postseason. His 6th in this year's postseason. The leadoff walk to Sweeney here in the 9th inning.
Kerry Leitenberg, effective splitter. He's not going to throw that now until he gets a fastball for a strike. It's a good location. All 4 of those pitches to Sweeney missed by a lot. Key out right here.
Greg Myers off the bench. 5 in a row out of the strike zone from Leitenberg to start the 9th. Braves leading 7-4. There is Vaughn on deck. Finally a strike from Leitenberg, and it looked like Myers was taking all the way 1-1.
Leo Mazzoni had to tell Leitenberg, I don't care if he hits this ball to El Centro. Throw it down the pipe.
Strike 2 from Leitenberg. Story with the Atlanta Braves coming into the postseason. They did not have a proven closer. Leitenberg trying to answer the critics. Misses with ball 2. It's 2-2 on Myers. Sweeney is running on ball 3, and it's 3-2 on Myers. Boy, that barely missed. A little low and a 3-2 count. Myers hits one to deep right. It's a one-run game.
Same thing as a walk. 3-2 fastball. He may have hit this to El Centro. No way Leitenberg stays in after that.
And it would be awfully tough for Bobby Cox to bring in a 20-year-old Odalis Perez. You kind of get the feeling we're about to see Maddox. A walk, a homer, and now Maddox. Nobody on or out in a one-run game. On the heels of the first career postseason home run by Greg Myers, it's a one-run game, and here is Maddox in to try to close it out.
Kind of difficult to give you a scouting report on Greg Maddox from the bullpen since he's never been there unless he's warming up for a start.
Greg Vaughn 1 for 7 during the regular season against Maddox. Did strike out one time.
The last relief appearance for Greg Maddox in 1987 with the Chicago Cubs. A strike over the outside corner to Greg Vaughn, who pounded 50 home runs during the regular season and is nursing a strained left quadriceps muscle. That caught the outside corner quickly 0-2, and for Maddox it couldn't work out any better the way this game has unfolded. He's got his catcher Perez in there catching strike 2 over the corner.
Nobody in the world could hit that last pitch. Nobody.
Vaughn on 0-2 strikes out for the first out here in the bottom of the ninth. Fifth time out of the bullpen in the big league career for Greg Maddox, and he strikes out the first man
with pinpoint control.
The overhand curve to finish him off. You don't see Maddox use the curveball very often, but in the 0-2 count right there got Vaughn to chase.
Now Kilvio Veras. Strike 1. Nothing but strikes from Maddox since entering out of the bullpen. Vaughn, with his first at bat since game 1 of this series, struck out on 3 pitches. In game 3, Veras was 0 for 3 against Maddox as a starter.
Guy who hurt Greg Maddox in game 3 was right there, Steve Finley. Opposite field double to drive in the tying run.
2 balls and a strike on Kilvio Veras. 7-6 Atlanta in the 9th inning. Atlanta trying to force a game 6. Hard hit, but right at Guillen. Picks it up to his left, 2 gone. And the Padres are down to their final out here in game 5. That'll bring in Steve Finley, who tonight is 0 for 3 plus a walk and a run scored.
We put up those hits by direction earlier. 99 hits to right field by Steve Finley, and for that reason Andres Galarraga on the line. Look for Maddox to work him away until he gets 2 strikes. Then he may come in bad.
Away and low, ball 1. One ball, 1 strike. Finley with a count of 1-1. That's foul for strike 2, and the Padres are down to their final strike here at home. Atlanta up 7-6. Atlanta down 3 games to 1. Lightenberg being picked up by Maddox here in the 9th inning. The Braves thought they had it on that pitch. 2-2.
That's that tailing fastball, and Maddox tries to come back over the inside corner. He wanted that pitch.
Now to 2-2. Full count with a guy named Gwynn on deck,
who has hit over 450 against Maddox for his career.
Bobby Cox still talking about the previous pitch that the Braves didn't get. To the first baseman, foul. Foul ball. And we'll do it again on 3-2.
There's no way Finley's going to be able to get a ball down that first baseline fair. Nope. Where Galarraga is positioned, and the fact he's a right-handed fielder.
Again, the 3-2 to Finley. The tying run is on with Gwynn coming up. The Padres, while they haven't given it up when leading after 8, have been a team that's come back. They've scored 2 here in the 9th. Have the tying run at first with 2 out for Tony Gwynn. The numbers against Maddox. Never struck out against Maddox. A strike to Tony Gwynn, with Finley bluffing over at first. It is a very real possibility that Finley could try to get into scoring position with Gwynn at the plate. Gwynn has never hit a postseason home run. Because of that, Maddox has thrown over twice.
Now, Maddox does not have a good move to first base, and base stealers have had their way with him pretty much throughout the entire season. Allowed 28 stolen bases in 39 attempts.
Finley starts and stops. Galarraga knocks it down, and as he steps on the bag, this series is going back to Atlanta. First career save in any capacity, regular season or postseason, for Greg Maddux. And the Atlanta Braves come storming back on the bat of Michael Tucker to win this game 7-6. And there will be a game 6 on Wednesday. You are looking at a very happy Chevy truck player of the game, Michael Tucker, who drove in 5 of the 7 Atlanta runs.
Tucker the trucker.
You got it with a 3-run home run off Kevin Brown, of all people. Kevin Brown suffers the loss in game 5. Rocker the victory, the save for Maddux. And let's go down now to the field with Chip Caray standing by with Michael Tucker. Chip.
Okay, Joe, thank you very much. Michael Tucker, tell me about the Kevin Brown at bat.
It was a tough one. It was a situation where I went out there and got a couple of tough pitches, wanted to throw strikes, and I fouled off a couple. And around the probably third or fourth pitch, I thought back to something my dad told me. He said, you can't swing hard and hope to hit him hard. So I went up there and I'm thinking, okay, just swing nice and easy, get a ball you can drive, and I got it and got me out of the ballpark.
A 5 RBI game. You ever have one of those in the big leagues?
Oh, no. I got to go check it out, but it was a good time coming.
You and your teammates knew the history. No team's ever come back from a 3-0 hole. No team's ever won and forced a game 6. But you guys have done that. Now does the advantage swing to your team as you head back to Atlanta?
Well, we're going back to Atlanta, so I think that's a good situation for us to be in. Right now, we got to keep doing what we're doing right now and keep winning ball games. I think going to game 6 is good because we're going back to Atlanta and hopefully we get the home fans. Maybe we get a sellout and probably more and get everybody cheering just like the fans here are cheering and hope to pull it out.
All right, Michael, thanks a lot. Congratulations on a great game. We'll see you down south in Atlanta.
Thank you.
Okay, Michael Tucker of the Atlanta Braves. Steve Lyons, let's send it over to you.
All right, Chip, thank you very much. I have the manager, Bruce Bochy, of the Padres with me right now. Bruce, you put Kevin Brown in the 7th inning with a 4-2 lead. Calculated risk. Obviously, he didn't have his best stuff tonight.
Well, he made some good pitches. He was just missing there, and you know, Lopez's ground ball, that could have been a double play ball, and that had eyes on it. And you know, we had our best out there, and we had a chance to win. We went for it, and it didn't work out. And guys battled back hard, and that's a tough one, no question about it. And you know, we'll have to put this behind us and just go to Atlanta.
Tell us now how your rotation will set up for games 5 and possibly, or for game 6 and possibly game 7 now that you used Brown tonight.
Well, we said before the game we had a 2-run lead that there's a good chance we use Brownie. He had 3 days rest. He was fresh, and you know, if things didn't work out, then we could throw him the last game. So I think there's a good chance he'll go to last day. He'll be rested enough, and we may go with Hitch the first game there.
All right, Bruce, continued success. Thanks for taking the time with us. All right, Joe, let's send it back up to you.
All right, thank you very much, Chip and Steve. We said it at the time. You can trace this result back to the walk to Rocker and the double for the RBI off the bat of Graffinino. The run scoring as the ball left the field of play. Those 2 extra runs made the difference for Atlanta tonight. A big night for Michael Tucker, a big night for John Vanderwall early. And here we go. Fox Sports coverage of the NLCS continues with game 6 Wednesday in Atlanta. Game time 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 Pacific. That'll do it for game number 5. Unlikely that the Braves would get it back to Atlanta for game 6. An unlikely home run for Caminiti against Smoltz early. An unlikely hero, John Vanderwall, with that pop in the 6th inning to put the Padres on top, but not for good because of Michael Tucker, another unlikely hero. For Bob Brenly, Tim McCarver, Chip Caray, Steve Lyons, I'm Joe Buck. See you in Atlanta 2 days from now.
This has been a presentation of Fox Sports, where legends are made, where champions are crowned, where dreams come true. Fox Sports, home of the 1998 World Series and Super Bowl 33.